SAFETY4SEA team, Director Sam Batalya, Vice Admiral Santos, fellow panelists, guests, good morning. Some of you must have heard or listened to this presentation in the past, but I have an obligation to share this to everyone, given the complexity and the enormous impact of this presentation. Before I begin, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the organizations that made this study possible. Okay. And this work is a joint effort between the ALMA Maritime Group and the University of Asia and the Pacific Center for Research and Communication. ALMA is an association of licensed manning agencies. We have around 90 members. We are responsible for deploying 175,000 seafarers at a given time. We are deeply grateful to Marina, the Department of Migrant Workers, and AMOSUP, our industry sponsors, and the many manning agencies who share their data and insights. I would also like to thank the ALMA Board of Trustees who worked hard to make this study possible, including my fellow panelist, Giovanni. This study was designed to answer a simple but important question. What is the true economic impact of the Philippine manning service industry, and what sustains it? What we found is that this industry is not just a labor export sector. This economic system is built on trust, safety, and strong institutions. That is what I will focus on today. So the Philippine manning service industry is a hidden economic powerhouse. It is one of the biggest engines of the Philippine economy, and this is not on land, it is at sea. Filipino seafarers are consistently chosen by global ship owners, but that is not accidental. It reflects decades of safe, disciplined, and reliable performance. Without that trust, this industry would not exist. So the numbers are significant. The sea-based remittances from 2021 to 2024 amount to 1.47 trillion. The seafarers contribute around almost 366 billion pesos annually, almost 20% of all the overseas foreign worker remittance. But this scale exists only because operations are safe and trusted by ship owners. Ergo, this happens because ship owners continue to employ Filipino seafarers. If safety performance declines, these flows are at risk. So the key data, the multiplier is massive. Every 1 peso spent becomes 3 pesos in the Philippine economy. Safe operations multiply value. So every peso sent at home becomes about 3 pesos in the economy. The multiplier is powerful, but it depends on continuity. Every safe voyage multiplies value. Every accident or disruption reduces that impact. This is an example of how the multiplier is explained simply. When a seafarer sends money home, it supports families, small businesses, and local economies. So safety is not just a shipboard issue. It directly affects households and communities. When accidents happen and seafarers are not employed, the impact spreads far beyond the vessel. Now, even before deployment, ship owners spend over 54 billion annually in the Philippines. This includes training, medicals, and compliance. These are considered direct foreign investments. These are not part of remittances. These are not just costs, they are investments in safety systems. Prevention begins before a seafarer even steps on board. So this is broken down as follows. Most of the investment, if you look at it, most of the 54.3 billion spending of the ship owners in the Philippines are spent on training and education. That's 61%. And this is the best deterrent to any accident or incident on board. This shows that the industry already prioritizes skill, preparation, and standards. Even the pre-employment medical examination, medical services, that is 4.6%, that is also a safety concern. People have to be fit to go on board because that is a safety issue. This is how experience is transferred and how safety is built into the current system. So in here, ship owners, the injection of 50.43 billion is done before the single sailor steps on board. If you are familiar with the process of a seafarer and the manning agency, the seafarer has to be trained, he has to go to PEME, he has to, there are so many spending involved, he has to take visas, and all of these are part of the cost paid for by the ship owner. No seafarer is made to answer for these costs unless it is STCW training, which is his responsibility. Then, what do ship owners and seafarers contribute in total? We are looking at 2024 figures. The direct impact of all this spending and all these remittances is 2.2 of the GDP, the gross domestic product of the Philippines. The total impact is 4% of GDP. That's why it's very difficult now for government to ignore this industry. This is not just the seafarer alone, it is the whole ecosystem surrounding the deployment of seafarer. And thus the study is saying it's the manning services industry. So if we are 4% of GDP, we are contributing 1.5% of Philippine household incomes, our industry, and we are responsible for the employment of 400,000 people. This refers to people in the Philippines, not those on board. So this is domestic employment. Again, because of multiplier, the total impact of the industry is 1 trillion peso a year. This is given the multiplier of 3 times. When we combine remittances and ship owner spending, the impact is 1.06 trillion every year. That supports nearly 400,000 jobs in the Philippines, including those of us here in the panel. And the jobs generated in this study do not refer, again, to seafarer jobs on board foreign ships, but to domestic jobs in the Philippines. This is what is at stake. If safety systems weaken and trust declines, this entire economic structure is at risk. So the Philippines became #1 because of strong institutions, standards, certification, and collaboration built global trust. In simple terms, strong institutions create strong safety culture, and that culture sustains competitiveness. The biggest risk today is not competition, it is a loss of confidence. When systems become unpredictable or overly punitive, behavior changes. People become less willing to report issues, learning slows down, and safety culture weakens. In global shipping, when confidence breaks, ships leave. So in our case also, if policies become unpredictable, claims are unreasonable, penalties become blanket, taxes feel arbitrary, legislative reforms are attacked, most of the ship owners do not argue, they just quietly move their contracts to other countries. On the losses to the Philippines is equivalent to the current gains. So again, in global shipping, when confidence breaks, ships leave. So the solutions that we have come up with are blue checking of manning agency verification. We have also proposed that there is a tiered penalty and enforcement matrix, meaning the first offense will not automatically result to shutting down the business already. We have to defend the reforms we established in the Magna Carta, particularly against ambulance chasing, and also to make sure that we follow the reforms in the Magna Carta to maintain compliance with EMSA. And at the same time, we ask for modern arbitration system in NCMB and NLRC. We ask also for transparent digital tax administration with BIR. Equivalent to this reforms would be increased ship owner confidence. The major point is, so what works? First, proactive risk management, predictable and proportionate enforcement. Second, a learning culture where people can report and improve without fear. Third, experience transfer through training, certification, and shared knowledge. These are not just safety strategies, these are how we protect this entire economic system. So why ship owners keep choosing Filipino? One, maritime English, maritime culture, strong English, discipline and loyalty, less desertion, longer contracts, global trust built over decades. Someone said, because Filipinos eat anything. We are not choosy with our food. But major point, every Filipino at sea means a Filipino family on land has hope. This is a summary of the presentation in terms of numbers. The Philippines has opportunity to go further. We can build maritime services around safety, training, audits, compliance, and crisis response. This strengthens both safety and economic value. Let me end with this. Safety, trust, and strong systems are not just operational concerns. They are a foundation of a 1 trillion peso industry. If we want safer future, we must protect the systems that allow learning, accountability, and confidence to thrive. I am on time, and with that, I'm very happy. So thank you.
Thank you very much.